Alright, welcome back. This is Dog. We're still leveling here at Mosquito, level 8 now. You can see these cafe orders take a while, so, you know, it's not going to be the best cafe episode, but we are going to try some experimenting here. So, off between recordings, I did fish a little bit more out of the hole. White bream have not been super consistent except just a little bit in the early overnight portion time. I do want to show you another spot that I was fishing out of. Caught a couple of white bream, but mostly we're seeing perch. As you can see, we've gotten several perch. So for perch orders, that might be a useful thing. But I think we are going to try the night crawlers. 17.8 silver. And again, as I said before, that's a lot of silver at this point. But let's just try it out and let's see. We're going to first start at that spot we fished at on the other side of the lake. Actually, let me think about this. I think I want to get another decent hook. Right now we've got a 12. I just can't see getting larger than 12 with this gear. It just doesn't really make sense, at least right now. So let's get a second 12, 5 silver. We're down to about 17 silver. That's all right. Hopefully we're about to make some back. Try to loosely keep track of the fish that we catch on the night crawlers to see if at this level it's even worth fishing on night crawlers for that kind of silver for these type of fish. The only way it's going to be worth it is if we start catching a really high percentage of roaches and gibbles and crucian that are coming in right around the 1 kilo size. I don't necessarily dare to imagine we're going to catch a trophy, but if we can get some nice sized ones, that could add up to theoretically be enough to justify such an expensive bait. Okay, so let's just try it out. Oh wow, hold on. I did not realize that. So you have to have at least a 12 hook to fish with night crawlers. It may have been worth getting a 10. I don't know. We'll just see how this goes, right? We'll do it for science. Hopefully we don't break anything. But if we do, then this will be a good lesson on what not to do. All right. For better or for worse, they are in the water. And I suppose to help pass the time, we can do a little float fishing. Yeah, this spot doesn't really want to be fished at. This is more of a, let's try 85 centimeters. That was not a very good cast, but that looks like that'll work. Okay. Time to start seeing if it is worth it. Yep, that is a big fish. A really big fish. I think it is a gibble. So that's good news. What we don't want to do is catch like common carp or... Ooh, that is a nice fish. That is a really nice fish. So if it does that with any regularity at all, then we may have hit the jackpot. Wow, first fish. That was amazing. Okay. And again, unfortunately, this won't always be possible because the night crawlers in the small, buying them 30 at a time, that does sometimes go out of stock. So if that's out of stock, you'll have to save up for the 171 silver amount of them if you want to try this at a low level. Once you can get to Belaya, Oldberg, hopefully they will be more in stock in those locations. Although I don't know that for sure. Okay, decent fish. Not the size of the first one though, although that is a big Chinese sleeper. Holy cow. Okay, so far it is doing what we hoped, and that is it is attracting big versions of the species that we've been catching already. But again, so that's 2 fish. We have what, 30 of them? So over 30 fish, we need to make, I don't know, at least like maybe 30, 40 silver to make it worth it. I mean, you don't want to feel like you're just kind of treading water, so it's a high risk, hopefully high reward move though. And I wonder if this is where we should consider, how many points do we have? 2? I wonder if we should consider putting a point or 2 in bottom. What this does is gives you a higher chance of catching a trophy. And we're awfully low level to be thinking about trophies, but if that increases the quality of fish we're going to catch on those night crawlers, it's probably worth it. You could also push it up to a size 10 hook, but with these crucians and gibbles and such, I just don't know that that's necessary. All right, fish number 3 also seems like a reasonable one. Another sleeper, another big sleeper. And as we saw last time, those Chinese sleepers are worth more silver than I realized. So that's not necessarily a bad thing that we've caught a couple sleepers off of them. So right now we're at 1 gibble and 2 sleepers. It's going to be noon soon. Alright, so now it gets complicated because this is not one of the fish that we caught on a night crawler, but we'll just we'll have to do an estimation. I'm not going to not fish with the float just to not mess up our science here. Once we have a 3rd feeder, we'll be able to do it a little more exact. It does make me wonder about even the night crawlers. You know, they will sometimes catch bream. We could put those, or large perch, we could put those in the deep hole off the dock as well and see if it's worth it there too. There's another nice bite. So far the bite rate has been very good. We haven't... this is a small fella. Alright, that's not as exciting. Let's try one over here just out of curiosity. We are clipped at 8 meters on both of these. Seems like this is going to be another sleeper. I guess the good news is we are not, thus far, catching anything that's even close to being not a marker, not a tagged fish. Ooh. That's a big one. Wow. Holy cow. Ah. Okay, this is fun. I may have to come do this on my main account sometime. All right, now this one was more over here in this area. Let's try that again. Level 8 account. Let's see if we're getting anywhere near the weekly. No. Oh, look at this though, guys. A lot of folks have been catching these on night crawlers. Interesting. I wonder if that's true of crucians or gibbles. I feel like I've heard no. Well, yeah, one big one was caught off a nightcrawler. See, I didn't come up with this idea just like out of the blue. Yeah, look at that. I think at some point heard someone talk about it. I've never tried this myself. This is new to me. But I feel like maybe I've heard someone talk about this at some point. I don't know who to give credit to because and it may be something that people that have fished a lot at Mosquito in the last few months may, this may be pretty common knowledge to do this. I don't know, but seems pretty cool so far. What about perch? I would assume that perch are going to all be on spinning. And again, there's no way to look at just, I guess we go to Mosquito. There's one on worm, decent size on worm. Sometimes I like to check the Japanese server because it's a very, I feel like it's one of the least populated servers, or it seems that way. So you can get a little bit like more narrow scope of things. I'm so excited about these night crawlers, I'm like not even paying attention to the float rod. I don't really want to put night crawlers on the float though. Obviously that is an option. Maybe I should just once. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Famous last words. So the load capacity is 4.5 kilos. The line is only 3.1 though. We probably would be okay, but I think I'm going to talk myself into it. It might actually be exciting. Let's see if we can catch a fish on the worm first, and then we'll see what happens. Don't worry, I won't be able to. Oh, I can't because the hook's not big enough. Okay, it's not even an option right now. Gotta have at least a 12 hook. That trophy Chinese sleeper though. Wow. Trying to think back what level I was on my main account when I caught my first trophy. It was a lot later than this. I think it was at Old Berg even, so it would have been post 12. And maybe a good bit post 12, I'm not even sure. We've had a little bit of a longer bite rate session. I mean, it's taken a little longer this time. Hopefully this nibble will turn into something though on this one line. We do have some bread to craft. Hmm. pop back up. I pulled it too quick. Alright, this is a small fish. Oh, there's not a fish on it. Oh, yet there is. It was so small I didn't see it. Alright, that's kind of alarming. Alright, let's go over here. All I saw were the night crawlers. The fish was so small or not there, I couldn't even see it. So is there just nothing on here? There's not. Line's moving, fish is on. It's a reasonable sleeper. It's no trophy, but it's a reasonable sleeper. Well, I was a little disappointed in our bark beetle larva experiment, but so far night crawlers has been exciting. Fish is about to be on our second feeder. Ooh. Oh. Pretty good sized perch there. I like that cast. So one thing that'll help us not get confused, that's Gibble's probably not worth keeping. That'll make the representation a little better on the night crawlers. Oh, that was a quick bite, but I did like where that cast ended up. It seems like another good fish. Ugh, small tench though. That's not what we want. That is not what we want. But that's why you got to be careful on what hook size you go up to. You may be tempted to put like an 8 or something on there, but then you're going to get a 3 kilo tench and or something scary or perch again. All right, so we're still getting some fish that are less than ideal. At Mosquito, I mean, I think where you really get in trouble with your starter gear is if you put bait on and then hook into a large common carp. Other than that, I mean, a trophy bream's gonna break your stuff. Trophy chub may break your beginner stuff. A pike is gonna be a disaster, but it's possible, I guess, on night crawlers, but I haven't seen it myself. I mean, a trophy tench is going to be a nightmare, but I mean, for the most part, it's just you're trying to avoid the common carp until you got a little better gear. You know, we've kind of put all of our eggs into one basket in terms of where we've casted these. Let's put one of these back over here on the left side and continue to see like one straight ahead here and the other one sort of to the right where we've got the second one. Probably don't want to cast that second one too far right. I just don't know how deep the water is right there at the edge of the weeds. There we go. What? Ooh. Hey there. Big perch. Alright, let's try to go like right over there. There we go. That's what I like. Just on the other side of that log. Yeah, feeder number 1 is really slowed down. I seem to remember pretty nice crucians and gibbles can come in like in the evenings. So we may still see those start to come in eventually. We haven't seen them yet much, but ooh, another tench. Maybe it's because we're hitting over there near those lilies that we're getting tench on that one. The hope would be that when we go to sell fish here, we might be able to afford to get our third feeder set up. I know I talked about just having 2 and focusing on float some. I mean, doing float on for the third rig, but I think we'll get a third feeder rod, especially with some of these tests we're doing with different baits. It's probably worth going ahead and get a third one. We can really have a better test at different spots. It is confusing to me though on why that first rod just will not get a bite again. They're literally set up identically, except for this is a 3000. I think this one only has a 2000 spark on it. Yeah, which means there's less line on the reel, but that shouldn't make a difference. But hopefully here soon they're both going to pick up. Again, I think that evening fishing may end up being good here. We'll try to do some of the night here and then maybe go test off the dock. I'm curious about what the night crawlers will do in the deeper part of the water at night. I also want to show you the spot that I was catching all the perch at earlier, as well as a few more white bream. By the way, because we got that trophy, we're going to put another point in bottom fishing. I would think that a trophy Chinese sleeper at this level is going to be a nice amount of silver. I think there's a fish on. That's a tench. It is a marker though, tag. That's good news. Change it to 9-meter clip. See if that gets it going. Oh, that was tricky. That looked like a legitimate bite, and then it came right back up. Hey, it's a rough. Those roughs are worth decent silver, and there's often cafe orders. I think rough and Chinese sleepers are very acceptable fish to catch at this level to try to earn some silver. Just can't handle how slow this first rig is. Let's try over here. Anything. Let's try anything to get a bite on it. I don't normally recommend you release fish at this level. Every point, whatever piece of silver matters. But I'm trying to keep our nightcrawler test to not be too negatively impacted by a bunch of junk fish we catch on worms. It'd be cool if you had an option to sort fish in your net by what you caught them on, but I need to take I need to step away from the game for just a second. Hopefully we'll get a fish on, but I'll be right back. All right, any good news here? I thought I saw this first rod moving some. Oh yeah. So we got a fish on this one again finally. Oh, that's weird. All right, I guess we'll keep that since it's on night crawlers. We're down to 13 night crawlers left. Yeah, that was a bream though, so again, throwing these night crawlers in the hole might be an option. I don't know that white bream are gonna get on the night crawlers, so it'd probably just be bream and perch in the deep hole, but I mean, that's not to say you don't ever catch crucians, gibbles, and Chinese sleepers from the hole. You might. All right, this is promising. As long as it's not a small tench. Oh, that's a crucian. Maybe it's crucian time. Oh yeah, that's a big crucian. 1.1. I like it. All right. Oops. I'm lucky I didn't lose that fish. Another Chinese sleeper. That was a good cast. Very irritating. Pulled that out of his mouth. Yeah, with the bite rate kind of as it is on these night crawlers, you really do want a third feeder just to get one more possibility cycling in there. Is that a rough? I guess we'll keep it because sometimes those rough orders for undersized rough. We'll probably only stay here a couple more hours. I mean, I think past 2 a.m. it's not that they wouldn't get any fish past that, but that would give us a little bit of time to test it in the hole still. There, the gibbles are starting to come out. And we were getting a bite on that. Oh, it might have a fish on, actually. Is the line moving? Yeah. It's not very big. It's a sleeper. We have 9 night crawlers left. I'm wondering if you just have a little bit of tension there, if you can better see the difference in a nibble, little pull, versus a full-on bite. I don't know if this will work or if this will help, but so if we come back to slack, it's just going to do bounce, bounce, bounce. So yeah, that might be good because when the actual bite happens, it won't bounce. It'll actually sink down more if there's less slack, it seems like. I really want the night crawlers to get a couple more fish. There we go. Yeah, see, I think that does help. If you're doing a lot of float fishing, it might be worth trying that. I'm definitely ready to put a bigger hook on this, slightly bigger. Try to minimize some of these like tiny catches. Technically, we could put a little bit bigger line, not much though. You don't want to snap the rod. So, yeah, maybe not. I mean, Just depends on what different line options, size options there are. I am guessing that one thing that would help here is higher level players can use leaders. Seems like a leader here, or even fluorocarbon line, would increase the bite rate maybe, and that might make this an even more exciting place to fish with night crawlers. We're getting some action on that front line though. Hopefully it's a good one. Cost a lot of silver to level up things like harvesting baits, ground bait, which we'll get into eventually, and even cooking. And that is another thing we could do. We could start purchasing a few ground bait ingredients and just throw the ground bait right into this spot. Even if we just made it with the base. So just get like crackers or whatever base we can get. Not even adding additives and stuff. We could start making it and throwing a few in every once in a while. Slowly leveling that up as well. I'm going to try to be patient to see what that fish is on that front line, but it needs to hurry up. So, seems like night fishing has actually been really slow here. Okay, that's on the second one. Are we still getting... I don't know. There's a slight bit of wind. Maybe that is just the wind moving the first rod, not actually a bite. Because it should have turned into something by now. That looks like a nice fish. Oh, not as nice as I hoped. Well, all right. Let's go. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. We'll run back this way so I can at least show you the other spot. But I want to test it off the dock, not at this other spot. We'll just straight up fish at this other spot sometime. Alright, the other spot is going to be on this beach. And if you look at the map, you're going into this 3-5 meter hole. And I was just kind of aiming over there and doing about a 70% cast. It was pretty decent though, some nice perch and a couple of white bream. Alright, so we're going to throw these night crawlers off the dock, and then we're going to look and see how we're doing on cafe and just selling the fish. And in the meantime, see if we catch anything off the dock on these night crawlers. Right about there. Well, let's take the clip off. You know what? I don't think we're at any risk of casting over that 5-meter hole. I really don't. So we're going to just full cast these suckers. 28.5 meters. Okay. All right, first let's look at the cafe. All right, the first fish we caught on the night crawlers was this one. And then if you go up to the last fish, oops, I think you hit shift. So that's 48 silver. That is good enough. So that trophy is 8 silver. Some of these sleepers are not so good. Some of them are up over a silver a piece. The trophy is 8 silver, but the 393 one was 3 silver. So it looks like you kind of want to be over the 250 gram. I mean, 293 is not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. Let's make sure there's nothing here we need to think about. Nope. Oh, there is a white bream order. We need 3 more small white breams or 6 fatties. The bream order's still up. Oh, and now there's a rough order. We're 3 short of that. Interesting. Bleak, huh? What are bleak called on? Flies. And what about just at mosquito? Flies again, pearl barley. I feel like people catch those on floats, not so much feeders, but I could be wrong. That might be one of those fish that you kind of fish right near the shore, around lilies and stuff. Maybe people catch them when they're trying to catch frogs. All right, so let's just sell all the fish here. 53 silver. Let's get another thing of night crawlers for sure. And then let's start putting a third feeder together. Oops. It's actually much more helpful just to click on it. All right, we're gonna get a third one of these. And a 3,000. And we can't afford the hook yet. So we do need to catch a couple of fish here, if possible. Doesn't sound like the night crawlers are going off yet, though, does it? Let's switch one of these to worms. We want to try to earn enough silver real quick to get a hook, a bell, and a weight. And it's got to be at least a 12 hook. "29 meters, longest cast." If we go straight out, can we go 1.5 meters? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. What's going on our night crawler here? Fish got away. That is sad. It wasn't very big though, whatever it was. looks like that was actually too deep. I mean, too shallow for the depth we had it set at. Yeah, we just don't quite have enough silver. We should go eat while to start the timer on the next time we can eat. All right. Just a couple of decent fish here. That is not decent enough. I shouldn't have sold those white bream actually, because we might could have finished that order and that would have been nice. Let's bring this one in some. I may have overcast. I don't know. It just seems like the not full cast gets better bites here. You know, as much as I want to get that third feeder set up for going back to that spot, it might just be worth going there. Instead of wasting our time here during the day when the white bream aren't going to be as good. This is probably a perch, I would say, at this size. Does not look perchy. It actually might be a white bream. There you go. Nice fish. So you'll see I'm holding down the right mouse button to raise my rod up. Try to not get in the habit of doing that. You can shift reel and for the most part get away with that and be okay. But if you start hitting right click a lot like I've been doing, you will have more fish that will get away, especially when you start fishing for carp. Let's let that fish get on there good. So instead of hitting right click and raising the rod up, just reel it straight in. Keep your rod at a little bit of an angle. You don't want to have it pointed down. Let the rod keep that slack on the fish. Keep it hooked nice. That's a perch. And then when it gets close enough to kind of jerk it up, you can do that. We will eventually need to purchase a net so that when we catch bigger fish, we don't have to lift them out of the water. We might have enough silver now. Oof. We might not should leave this spot. See what this is. Oh, that's a tench, isn't it? It's a nice tench, though. Yeah, that's another 10 silver. That may be enough. That's for 22 silver, and we just need 2 more. It's probably crazy not to try to get that, right? I want to just sell the fish and get the rest of the equipment, but we're so close on that silver bream order. Sorry, white bream order. Alright, so now we've got 9 silver. Oops. Another nice feeling fish. It's a perch. If this is a white, then we're just 1 fish away. That is good news. This could be it. Ooh. It's on. Not a white. So I think we're just going to finish up at this spot. And we'll do more nightcrawler testing next episode. Because this has turned into another pretty lengthy episode, and I want to be careful about not going too much over an hour. I might have really messed that one up, actually. All right, come on, come on. Nice. Perch. Yeah, I mean, if there's a perch order or a white bream order, this seems like the spot, right? $22 silver. Beautiful. All right, we're at 34 silver. Let's get our third feeder out. So we want another size 12. Now we've got 3 12 hooks. We want another 30-gram sinker. Okay, now we've got plenty of night crawlers. There we go. Slot is empty. Oh, I guess I did that. All right. Oh, I didn't get the line yet, did I? You know, the server right now is it's kind of delayed a little bit on my actions. That's another white. Uh-oh. What's going on? Huh. You know, this time of night, sometimes the local internet will have to get an update or something. That might be what happened. I might have to go ahead and end this episode now. All right, let's stop now. Next time we will set up the third feeder and we'll do some more nightcrawler testing. As always, thanks for watching.